Welcome to Stock Talk with Mike. Today I'm going to talk to you about a company that I've never talked about before that might just add a little bit of diversity to your portfolio. It's a company I hold myself. It's still a small cap company, around a $2 billion market cap or so, growing very quickly, but also highly profitable and trading at a reasonable valuation. So I think you're going to find this video interesting. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. I like to cover a lot of high growth stocks, which I think give you the best chance at outsized returns, but also balancing that with definitely some more attractive valuation companies, some more staple-oriented companies. And I like to put my money where my mouth is. I generally talk about companies that I have my highest conviction in, that I invest in with my own dollars as well. It'd be great also if you'd like this video. Company I want to talk to you about is AeroVironment, ticker AVAV. They offer unmanned aircraft solutions, so think your typical drones, but we're talking high performance drones. They have a lot of contracts with various branches of the Department of Defense, and they also offer unmanned ground vehicles and high altitude pseudo satellites. So they're also in other industries other than military, such as agriculture as well. But a very interesting play. They used to be involved in electric vehicle charging as well, but they've sold off a couple years ago that portion of their business. So this is a company I've been invested in a while. I hold it in my growth portfolio. I have a reasonable sized position. It's and I first bought it back in April of 2018. This shows 15 shares with 115% gain from then. I bought it originally at $46.80 a share, but I actually bought a lot more than 15 shares. I did trim some AeroVironment at some higher levels, and then more recently this year I've been buying back some more shares, just keeping it properly allocated in my portfolio. So in July here, I bought it at $98.75 a share, 20 shares, and I bought another 15 at $95 a share. Up slightly on those newer positions, but again, I was trimming some profits at higher levels than this a while back. And when I see a stock that's a long-term hold for me, kind of retrace some of those trimmings by 20% or more, I like to start buying back in. So as I mentioned, about a $2 billion market cap. It's actually currently more at about a $2.5 billion market cap. And it's been a good performer over the last 5 years, up around 255%. Over the last 52 weeks, it's only up 25%. It rose rapidly in the back half of 2020 and then sold off at the beginning of 2021 and then traded sideways for the last 3 to 6 months or so. And again, that's where I've been picking up some more shares of AeroVironment again. Just looking at their revenue growth, pretty good trajectory here. We're seeing revenues back in for the year, their fiscal 2021 represents 2020 numbers. Basically, they have an April to March fiscal. So last year, revenues were around $395 million. So again, it's a relatively small company. We're talking in the millions here. For this full year, so their fiscal 2022, those revenues are estimated to climb to $569 million. That's about a 44% increase. And analysts are expecting for next year that revenues would be $644 million. So that is a bit of a deceleration in revenue growth, but still double digits revenue growth. And we'll see if they can beat those numbers based on the growth they're seeing this year. I think it's quite possible they could beat on those revenue numbers. Looking at their profitability, so again, their fiscal 2022, we're really talking basically 2021, April to March. So they're in their fiscal 22 right now, but earnings per share is expected to be 2.63 this year with a PE of 39.36 with sales, I mentioned, of 569 million. And then next year, so their forward earnings per share is expected to be $3.13 with a forward PE of 33. So again, for this kind of high growth, double digits growth, 44% growth this year, and they're growing earnings relatively quickly as well. That's a pretty solid PE at 33. You push that out to 2 years out to their fiscal 2024, and that's their current share price represents a 25% PE, so even better. So again, trading at a decent valuation. I think it's currently about 6 times sales right now. So one thing about AeroVironment is I think their success is going to be somewhat tied to defense spending. Looking here, there may be a bit of a concentration risk, but at the same time, it's pretty dependable funding. I don't think defense spending is going anywhere, but if they were to lose out on any big contracts there, that could be pretty detrimental to this relatively small company. So they provide their systems to, again, the Department of Defense. That includes the U.S. Army, Marine Corps, Special Operation Command, and Air Force. And about 47% of their revenue currently is from the U.S. Army directly. So definitely something to keep an eye on is some of those larger defense contracts or a big boost in defense spending could benefit AeroVironment moving forward. As far as hedge funds and money managers holding of AeroVironment, last quarter we saw AeroVironment in just 2 of the fund's top 10 holdings. So only 2 funds had it in their top 10. But that's not surprising for a relatively small cap company at $2.5 billion. Again, a lot of these funds, core large holdings are going to be larger companies, or they run risk of owning large majority shares. And last quarter that was 1, so that's actually up from the previous quarter. Funds holding AeroVironment also up to 239, and that's up from 228, so heading in the right direction. Percent ownership by institutions is around that 77 to 78%, so pretty high institutional ownership in AeroVironment. As far as analyst ratings, they see quite a bit of upside over the next 52 weeks from the current share price. There's only 3 ratings on the stock, 2 have it a buy, 1 have it a hold, but the average price is $130 a share. So one analyst has it at 140 and the lowest is 120. So the average being right there in the middle at 130. That would represent a 29% upside from current share price. So not bad, but again, you got to take these analysts' expectations with a grain of salt. They're not always that accurate, but something interesting to look at nonetheless. So again, this company's a little bit different than some of my other holdings, and it's been a good performer for me. And I like it at under $100, where you're looking at a forward PE of close to 30 or so. That seems relatively attractive to me given the growth of this company. And I like the area that it's in. I don't have any other direct Department of Defense plays at all, but I like that they're in that pseudo-satellite space. That's a growing area of satellites, is sort of that like suborbital level. And then also I like the drone play as well. I think that's the applications for drones is of high level, high performance drones is I think only going to increase, and potentially for other industries, like I mentioned, agriculture as well. So that's about all I got for you today. Thank you so much for watching, and happy investing.